So let me take this honor, ladies and gentlemen, to welcome our first coaches that are going to take us into parenting. Whether you're a parent or you're not a parent, or you're dreaming of to be a parent, or you plan to be a parent after 10 years. You need this information. So let's welcome Coach Caroline together with Coach Fifi to take us in the first session. Let's give them a round of applause until they are where they have to be. Let's give them a round of applause until they are where they are meant to be. Thank you, coaches. Handing over to you.
This is wholesome growth. We believe in personal development that as we are taking care of our finances, we are also taking care of our emotions, we are taking care of our relationships. Likewise, we take care of family. And in that, we are talking about children, right? So I have an expert here, a gift for us. She's called Caroline Mulungi Mwebaza. She is a wife as well. She is a mother, and she is a lawyer. You can call her an advocate in Uganda here, okay? But that's put aside, since she's so passionate about teens, and she has initiated a project about the precious teens. Since 2020, she's reaching out to teens, and a lot of lives have been changed. I want to allow her to say hello to us, and we shall be taking on the mantle. You're so welcome, Caroline.
Thank you, Coach Fiona. I'm really glad to be here. Thank you for the opportunity, the Coach Experience program. Yes, I look forward to the time we are going to share. Thank you.
You're welcome. She's just like that. Just have your pen right there, because her points are always near and close. Okay? So, Coach Caroline, we have considered finishing this year strong. But we have understood that there is no way we can finish up this year strong just in a single way, in an individual way. We want to do this all together. We want to go with our husbands. We want to go with our friends. We want to go with our children. So for us, our take is finishing the year stronger with our children. And of course, children have been at school, right? And they're already back home. Maybe the senior sixes are still doing their final exams, but they're also coming back so soon. So we want to applaud any teachers in the room. Thank you for the great work you have done, having these citizens. Yeah, and we want to thank you, parents. You have paid this tuition and the school fees. Thank you so much. But from our side as coaches, what next? How are we handling? How are the parents who have got the children back finishing stronger with them?
Wow. Indeed, thank you. A big thank you to the parents. A big thank you to the teachers. I'm a mother. Actually, also a firstborn, so I'm going to speak from that line. You know what it means being a firstborn. So I really understand when it comes now to dealing with children, okay? Anyone below the age of 18, I now understand. I'm a mother of 3 great children. Yes, we are really grateful to God that the academic year is coming to an end, okay? Putting other factors constant. Of course, we have other curriculums, but considering the national curriculum, we are already getting into the long holiday, okay? We can call it the festive, the Christmas long holiday. That's about 2 months, right?
Yes, 2 months are getting back in February.
Yes, they will be getting back to school in February. So the big question is, what next? Okay, how best can we add on to our children, okay, in these 2 months? How best can we finish strong with them? You know, in most cases, we tend to think it's us that need such sessions, okay? We tend to think it's only us that go through trouble. You'll be amazed that even a 4-year-old like Coach Hilda has told you, they also have their issues. Okay?
Yeah, they have issues.
They have their issues. Your issue may be job security. For the 4-year-old, her issue is they lost their favorite toy. Okay? And actually, if you're to realize the toy is as tiny as, I don't know, a SIM card, but their whole interest is in that.
To them.
So they also have their issues. So how are we going to finish strong along with our children? So in these 2 months, we should consider it as an opportunity to do certain things with our children, okay? So how are you finishing strong? You should also think in that same direction for your child. It doesn't matter even if it's I don't know, a 3 months old baby, you have to ask God. You know, in most cases, not even in most cases, in all cases, I always go back to God. There's a reason why the Bible says children are heritage, okay? You're not going to study so much. You're not going to study anything new when it comes to the heritage. You know why we go to the museum, okay? You're not going to discover something new.
Okay.
The caretakers of the museum will tell you, oh, that skull, it's for such and such an animal and all that. So when the Bible says children are heritage of the Lord, the best person that is going to tell you what to do with your child is God, okay? Because he knows them even more than you do. So finishing strong, you're going to ask him, so how do I finish strong with my 3 months old baby? How do I finish strong with my kindergarten child? How do I finish strong with my teenager, okay? And in these 2 months, you can consider engaging in certain activities, okay? Decorating a Christmas tree, those that have toddlers, okay? I actually did that last week, but as we talk,
the excitement is everywhere.
Not only excitement, Coach Fiona.
No.
All the decorations I bought.
They are already
I don't want to say I wasted my money.
They are already
in the rubbish pit. So I have to go back and bring more. So you have to engage them in those activities.
So I'm seeing something called intentionality over there. You're getting intentional about how you are going to deal with your child right there. So you are like, God, guide me on how I'm going to finish up with this child. But also as you're praying, you're intentionally pulling out activities that are putting the two of you together. For example, you've decorated your Christmas tree already, and they are excited. You may think it was wastage, but they are excited that they have done something. They have also contributed by pulling off everything you put.
And actually also, as we finish strong, after God, you as a parent, you know your child best, okay? Even before we consider the teachers. So you should be able to know, my firstborn is interested in cars. My secondborn, her passion is in driving, okay? The thirdborn, the passion is in playing in sand, okay? Depending on the age, okay? And depending on the stage of that child. If they're teenagers, maybe they're interested in books. It's okay, you can take them out to the bookshop and tell them to select any book.
And that sounds so foreign, like they're interested in sand, they're interested in books. Like our children over here, we are like, fenga tebabitukolera kikyoyogerako mu bateerewo omusenyu mbuno baagala musenyu. But you see, Coach Caroline, when you're talking about looking out for our children, we have to understand the speciality in these children. Every child is as special as you feel special and unique. They are special, and there is something they are literally interested in that is not a one-size-fits-all, that you would not expect every one of them to just like the same thing. So as you're creating memories for them, what makes sense for me may not make sense for you. So you need to really be intentional and careful to know what exactly does my child need and create this memory for them as they need it. One of the things I realized as you talk about children that have grown up, as they go into the stage of teenage, they get independent. And at this independence, they feel like they want their privacy. Like, give me some space. Like, allow me to think. Meaning you really need to respect this if you want to receive this respect back. So as we're finishing strong, you need to be conscious to the truth that your children as well, just like you want your privacy, you close your bedroom sometimes and you feel like, give me some time. Well, they need that as well. So you want to teach them respect, not by asking them to listen to you, but allowing them to see you giving them that space.
Yes, and like Coach Fiona is saying, you're not going to teach your children what you're not, okay? You're not going to
You want to say that again?
You're not going to teach your children what you're not, okay? And it's really important you also get clear with your belief system, okay? Because it's what you're going to teach your children. So as we are finishing strong, it's also an opportunity to teach your child what you believe in, okay? And what you believe in, it's beyond spirituality, okay? Even values, you can remind them actually, because we believe you've been teaching them your family values. Here we believe when it's meal time, we put phones aside, toys aside, and we enjoy the
They
meal
learn
time.
literally by saying, one wise man said, do not worry that your children are not listening to you. Simply worry that they are watching you every time and everything you're doing.
Yeah.
So it's not about what you're saying, but the things you've put in place at home. Do they know what we do? But before we pray, your child should know, before we eat, we must pray. They should know that if you're Muslims, you have to observe the 5 swalas. So they know that it is, even if you're not around, you know, they know us. You know how children know us.
Yeah.
They be like, today mom is not around. But when you are available, they'll be aware of what you know. So you need to do this so that they can watch you do it. You'll finish strong with them because you have shown them the way to go. By you yourself doing what you would want them to do. They are more good at doing what you tell them to do when you are doing it than just listening in when you are speaking.
Yes. So being an example to your children, then also let us use this opportunity to connect with family. I hope your children know your parents, okay? Their grandparents. Huh? I hope they know
Do they?
their cousins.
Hey, do they? One of my nieces asked my big brother that, but I know Jaja, the father of mommy, but I don't know your mother, my big brother. But my mother is always the one with them. So all the time she calls him Jaja, but she did not know that what it means to call her Jaja is that she is the mother. So she said, I want to see your mother. Do you also have a mother? So my brother was like, what do you mean, do I also have a mother? She's like, but me, I have mommy. And I also know that daddy of mommy, but I don't know your mother. So it took exploration to take her back and tell her, do you know what? This is what I'm meaning. This one, you call her Jaja because she's my mother. So do the children know why they are calling Jaja Jaja? Do they? You haven't labored to explain.
Yeah, so please let's endeavor to connect with family. It's really important. And because it will create a sense of belonging, okay? So those are some of the activities or ideas you can take into regard to finish strong. Please be reminded, don't finish strong alone. Finish strong with your children.
With your children. Okay? I also found an interesting activity that, you know, this technology era has spoiled us that if it's your child's birthday, you come on Facebook and you post, happy birthday, my dear child, my girl or my boy. Well, they are not on social media. Actually, you restricted them to be on social media. How about we go back traditional? Write them those sweet words in a letter, in your handwriting, and tell them, every time I think about you, I remember the memory of how I came to have you. And tell them those sweet words. Are they crossing from the stage of being young adults, and then they're becoming, you know, they are from teenage to young adults, and then you tell them the precious moments that you experienced by writing to them by hand. You know how you keep that letter very intimate? They'll keep it and they'll be like, this letter, my mom gave it to me on my wedding day. Some of us have children that are getting married. Okay? So some of the gifts you would consider that are priceless, that someone will put in their wallet or laminate or feel like this is too sweet, is a handwritten letter. You want to consider writing down these precious things to them and just tell them, do you know what? I love you. Here in Africa, our parents love us,
but they don't
in
speak.
action, but they don't say it. You want to live here and go and tell your child, come, have I told you how much I love you? I trust you. I believe in you. It will be so precious to them. So as you're finishing strong, it's very imperative that you care for how your children perceive your love and all your efforts, because everything you're doing, you are now doing that they may have a better future and a better life, right? So it means you don't want them to realize that when you are dead or when you are gone, tell them about this truth right now when they are close to you, and tell them, I love you, and everything you see me doing, I am doing because I want.
You know those 5 love languages?
Okay.
Yes. They also actually apply to children, okay? So you realize some of your children, they love it when you tell them, I love you, okay? Others will love it when you offer help, okay? Like they're doing housework and you ask them, how can I help you? You can imagine the kind of adults that are going to come out of children that are exposed to those 5 languages. So let us be reminded that what you would love to experience in your life, okay?
You can offer.
You can also have it for your children. Actually, they desire for it. I normally tell myself the best way to understand children, okay, teenagers, but also these little ones, it's to try to play a, how do they call it?
Replay.
A replay, okay? How did you want mom or dad to relate with you back then? The time they pushed you away, did you love it? Okay? So you realize you also had your hidden desires then. Okay?
But we are so busy. Their times are different from ours.
No, but it doesn't change, okay? Human beings are a mystery. The way you felt, it's the same way they are feeling. Technology can change, okay? A lot of things can change, but human beings will never change, okay?
I loved it when you talked about us considering the 5 languages as we are dealing with our children. And where you said that if they need help, you offer help. One of the activities you can do vividly to offer help to your children is if you're going for shopping, take one along. The one you have seen they're interested in that. Take one along and let them see the choice of what you choose to put in the shopping basket. And then those that are interested in fun, you know, they love to watch movies. Spare time, be intentional. Spare time and go watch a movie with them. Let them choose that movie so they tell you why they are choosing the movie. Spend time with them and they will open up and tell you what is stressing them. One of the issues we are facing today, we should talk about challenges we are going to face and see in our children. But one of the biggest issues we are facing today is our children are better off telling their issues to their teachers than talking to us. Have you realized?
Yeah, that's true.
They don't want to talk to us about what they are going through. And it is because we haven't created that bond. We haven't given them that space. We haven't shown them that we are winning. So engage them in activities like you go together shopping. If they love watching, ask them what you need to watch. You could create a movie night home, back home. If they love eating, abakuze bagala okulya. Ask them. Engage in baking, engage in cooking, work together so that you can have this bond and they'll feel that speciality because you're respecting how they feel about you. So Coach Carol, I want to ask you, you talked about something called values and I was interested. How best can we put these values into our children? What can we do evidently, vividly, and instill these values into our children?
Okay, so we want to believe that you've been teaching your children those values, okay? Because from day one, not from day one, because we can't teach a one-day-old child, but from the time they begin understanding, okay, by instinct as a parent, you will know. As a caretaker, as a teacher, you will know that this child is supposed to be knowing this. They're supposed to be doing this. So from the time you realize that they're supposed to be learning something and you teach them, you begin teaching them. So we want to believe you've been teaching your child from the time you realize they are ready to learn, because learning and teaching are a continuous activity when it comes to children. So maybe I can compress that into grounding, okay? Grounding these values into children, because you've a lot of things are happening, okay? A lot of habits are cropping in. Someone tells you, no, I watched that on TV. A friend of mine told me it's okay to do that at school. I watched that, I listened to that in news.
Generally, the environment is influencing.
Yes.
You are doing something, but the environment in which they are is also contributing. So you have to be cautious.
Yes. So it's really important that we ground our children in the values you teach them, because it will not make sense when you tell your child, respect elders, okay? The child respects elders for one day, or when you're around, and when you're not around, the same child is disrespecting.
But which children are you talking about?
I think for now I'm generalizing.
We are having children today, like I'm talking about 18, 15 or 16, and they're like, but neirachitufukamira nga tubuuza ababakali. Like emirembe gikyuse. I don't know, where do I stay? Mwewa mwekiri kitya? Like
Chiri
literally for me, as I would wonder, why should mom say tukole bino lwaki tukikola? I would always be questioning lwaki agamba
Rachi.
tukole
And
kino.
you see, it's an important thing. It's actually good that they question, okay? So it also calls us to the place of continuous explaining, okay? The continuous explanation to the children, okay? And that's where grounding comes in. Value grounding, it involves teaching these children how to use these values to make decisions, okay? Or to define their kind of behavior. So you're going to teach them, we do this, okay, because of this.
Tetusudde nnyo obuyinja ng'abazadde okwennyonnyolako nti kino kikole kubanga
It's really
kino
important. That's why you're asking, Rachi, why are the 18 year olds questioning why they kneel at such a stage?
Okay.
If you brought them up with that explanation, okuva buto, we kneel because in our culture, as the Baganda, that's how you show someone respect. Trust me, they will not question that. For example, growing up, my dad used to tell us, you have to kneel, okay? Anyone that is older than you, kneel. Used to work in Chikubo, but I got tired of kneeling in Chikubo when, because when I became a teenager, I used to wonder,
whoever you find.
what if a friend from school meets me kneeling? But I had understood that, okay?
Yeah.
So the reason why teenagers will question a certain value, it's because maybe, okay, I don't want to say it's because maybe you did not offer much explanation, and even if you did, maybe they met someone at school, okay, or anywhere, and they told them otherwise. So when you don't ground a value, okay, something else will ground them.
So practically, as we are grounding the values, which are those steps you said we have to teach?
Yes, we have to teach.
Okay.
And it's a continuous process.
Of course,
Also,
repetition is part of this
yes,
story.
repetition. Even as adults, we really love repetition. Okay. Yes. Then also consider it as a discipline approach. Okay. The good thing with taking this value teaching, value grounded as a discipline approach, it doesn't. It leaves a good memory. Okay. Because, for example, let me give an example. You tell a child. This is how you leave the dining table after having a meal, okay? You can correct once, twice, 3 times, depending on how your child really responds to a warning. The 4th time, you can do something, okay, to ground this value in a child. For example, you can tell them, you're not going to eat until you prove to me that you can leave the dining set tidy after having a meal.
So we teach, we train, okay, we correct,
Yeah.
and then later on we discipline. Did you
Yes.
see that? We train these children, we teach them, okay, we correct them when they err, because they go through the testing. Have they mastered what we are talking about? At the last time, that's when we discipline. But we don't punish these children, we discipline them. So our time is fast spent, Coach Carol, but we talked about something that I don't want us to leave the set without mentioning. What are the challenges? As parents who are intending to finish strong along with our children, we should watch over that these children have come back home with all they are really going through, because I understand these children are also stressed. They're also anxious. They're also dealing with some issues of life. So in just about 2 minutes, let's talk about the challenges our children are facing,
Okay.
and how we can handle them.
Challenges. There are many challenges, and maybe how to deal with those challenges. Okay, like I say, just like an adult, even children have challenges. They may not be the same challenges, but they also go through challenges. And as an adult, you've been taught coping tips. Okay, coping skills. For example, when a boss angers you, you've been taught how to handle. Okay, such a scenario. Also, children need to be taught positive coping skills. Okay. Take note, I've said positive, okay, because some
There
of
is
them,
also the negative
the
bit.
parents who teach their boys, wakunyiza just
Nawe
box.
bwakukona, nawe mukone. That's the
Okay.
saying.
And when they steal your bucket, you also look for a similar bucket and take. Okay. So we have to teach them positive coping skills. Okay?
Do you have some of those that
And
you're giving
coping
us?
skills are what we think, what we do, okay, to maneuver through a situation. Some of them, I'll highlight them. 1, discourage unhelpful strategies or coping skills. For example, crying. Tell them crying is not going to get you anywhere, okay? Teach them how to manage something and come out of it. Also, encourage children to talk to an adult. In the era we live in today, it's very important that you get, for the teenagers, okay, that you get your child or your teenager a mentor, okay? When a child knows, I have someone I can talk to. I'll give a quick example. At church, even at church, I deal with teenagers. That's how much I love teenagers. So a certain teenager is going through a hardship, and it involved family stuff, okay? The parents were going through some issue concerning marriage. The mother asked the teenager, and the teenager told them, I'm comfortable talking to Carol. So it's very important that you get your children mentors. Lastly, model helpful coping skills to teach them how to go through challenges.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow, so amazing. We want to say thank you so much, Coach Caroline, for giving us such a beautiful time. Remember, we are finishing strong, but we are even finishing stronger along with our children. So as you leave the room tonight, one of the decisions you're going to take is to go back, talk to your sister. Find out who they are. Find out their love language. Try to find out what is their interest. They're special in themselves, okay? Give them best memories. Try to see how can you help them as well. Enjoy life at their stage. And just don't forget that being a child doesn't cease. You are still a child somewhere. You still enjoy to be treated that way. So give it to them as they need it so they don't get fixated. All right? Thank you so much for this audience.
Thank you so much for listening.